So yes, non-fungible
Well,
tokens
I've been getting
is
a bunch of information from
you
the
say
NFT.
what?
I said I've been getting lots of information from the page just about what people are doing and what's happening in the space. So that's important too, and the reality is I haven't seen that many people in the reggae community adopting this. So I'm looking to the hip hop people. I'm looking to the people who are, out there already making things happen in this NFT world. You know what I mean?
Well, I
So
did see there's that page, Crypto Rastas, and I was like, are you part of that? Is that like a collective? You know about that? Or like, what's up?
the crypto rastas, they are out of Brazil. So
Ah,
as soon as I seen that, I was like, "What crypto rastas?
hold
Who is?"
on, yeah.
So that's what I mean. There's not many people in this space. Most of the people are still linking me like, "Tough, what are you talking about?" And I'm like, "It's an NFT. It's a digital asset that's registered to you on the blockchain." And they're like, "What are you talking about?"
And
You
I
know what
mean,
I mean?
I think that you're highlighting a big challenge for artists right now as the early adopters of this technology. Because as you see on my page, the artists that I'm featuring are the big name artists like the Snoop Dogs and whatnot, where they have the team and that has the, the knowledge of the technology or the monetary resources or the partnerships with the marketplaces for them to be navigated through that process. Where independent artists like you and I, we now have this burden really of educating our fan base, because it's one thing to educate other artists on this is how you create and link your wallet and how you mint for
Right.
the marketplace. But now we have this whole other job of trying to explain why this is an important technology, how you actually go through with it. And that's probably the biggest challenge, I think, for any artist right now. That and the copyrights, like figuring out the splits and being ethical, essentially, because I think NFTs are arising as a way to solve a problem with the current streaming industry like Spotify, where you got to do how many hundreds of thousands of streams
Right.
just to get like $1,000, like,
Right. Because you got to get like 0.0004 cents. So now
mm-hmm.
this can be very empowering for artists where you can like deliver a more personal version of
Mm-hmm.
your, and so that's what I've been liking about it as well because I can bundle other parts of our catalog because I also have a clothing line, Tuff Like
Yeah.
Iron. So, I like to combine the merchandise items with the music, and now we have also the digital asset aspect of it. So it's like a nice way to give people a more personal experience of your brand and your music and just what you represent. Whether you want to do like I seen some different options that people were doing. Like I saw one NFT that it came with you just get free access to these people's show for
Mm-hmm.
life. One time, you pay one time, pay whatever this fee is, and you're on a list of people who are getting into the shows for life. You know what I mean? Another example, my brother in here, Nati, he did a release and he offered 1% of the publishing to his 12, what he called his 12 disciples. So when he released the crypto he he's giving all of the people who bought and invested into that project actually a return on the project later on. So there's like different options and how you can set it up and you can personalize things and I feel like it gives us a lot of control. And I think the reality is there's a lot of people out there who do want to support the artist. They don't want the artist to get 0.0004 cents. Like they might want to give Kyla Love $400 for this song. You know what I mean?
And
Just
that's
for
where
they love it.
Yeah, and you're so right. Like that's where it all comes down into like what I think you're right on point with like the personalization, the monetization, being able to bundle everything. And it's like Nipsey Hussle, he was basically doing the same principles, but without the NFT, the digital kind of asset idea, where he had the $100 and then the $1,000 mixtapes. But the whole thing was the music is still free. You can still go stream this music all day long on the platforms, but if you really, really want to get down and be like, I was one of the collectors of this very exclusive $100 mixtape, then that's just the option, that they're giving. And now we're just doing that in a more secure space where that authenticity cannot be challenged. It's basically everything a notary, everything all in one because it's
Right.
on the blockchain. And so even with the physical merchandise that you're talking about, like I see like the beanies and everything, and you could do like maybe a line of 10 you know, special edition ones, and then in your like the inside, maybe there's a tag with the code, and then that's like basically that's the first beanie, that's the second beanie, that's the third beanie, and they each correspond to an NFT. So there's a lot of possibilities, even with your physical merchandise and your whole line, to, you know, create that certificate of authenticity through NFTs. So that's really dope. And I think it's going to change, you know, like the whole game with the way that we view and value things and collectibles. And you know, you have some really great artwork as well. And I know you were talking about, you know, really emphasizing that aspect of the visual art, which I think NFTs are creating a whole new avenue for music artists to build stronger partnerships with the visual artists, the painters, the digital creators.
It's beautiful. I want to just up to Ross Terms, who
Hey.
collaborated with us, and we have our recent NFT drop. It is available now. You could check the link in my bio on my page. It's on OpenSea, and I'm just blessed to get to work with this amazing visual artist who's been doing art all over the world for years, from the graffiti scene in Miami to does all kind of stuff in Colombia, and he's all about like eclectic, like a spiritual kind of vibe, but also b-boy, spiritual b-boy, kind of
I
futuristic.
like
So
that.
ancient futurism, and we've had a great artist, you know, exchange going on for years. So it was just great to see this digital space develop when it became another avenue that we could present the art to people in a different way. So I really appreciate that, you know. Also big up to my brethren Rasta Smoke Shop, who's been helping me with the actual musical aspect, because now the NFT that I offered, it has different aspects. So it has, the person's gonna get the MP3. It's an unreleased song, so nobody else will have this song. You're not gonna like go to a party next week and hear the DJ put it on unless that DJ bought one of
Was
the
the
NFTs.
purchaser, yeah.
It's very limited, so nobody else is going to be able to play this particular version of this Tuff song. Also, it comes with a physical print of the artwork. So you're going to get
Mm.
a nice framed picture of the same artwork to put on your wall. And there's also a digital download of the motion graphic that was done by DJ Echo. So I had some nice support. People are really excited. And that's one of the best things to me about the whole NFT world, is just that people are really positive and excited about it. There's a little bit of backlash, I guess, with the people talking about the environment, the environmental impact, and all this stuff, which I understand. You know, people should be concerned about the environment, and if they heard that on the news, you know, that might be a reason to get, you know, a little backlash, you know. But the reality to me, I mean, I don't know what you think about it, but I'd be like, now, are these people going to stop eating hamburgers because that's bad for the environment, or stop flying on planes, or, you know what I mean? Stop using the internet? Are you going to turn off your computer and stop using the internet and don't use an AC, or, you know what I mean? Maybe you should just go jump off a building. I don't know. Let's be real. People
No,
overall
and
for the environment.
I think that is the environmental issues are just such a challenge, because on one hand, it's like the fashion industry contributes immensely to the climate change problems. Like you said, like the meat industry, like the jet planes and stuff are
Eating fish because half of
right.
the plastic in the ocean is plastic fishing nets from commercial fishing. Is that something
Hmm.
you're willing to do because of the impact on the environment? So I
Yeah,
think
so
that
that is a big challenge. And then we think, oh, well, if it's a digital space, like how much can it really cost? Because, you know, it's just like electricity. It's the same thing as running your computer or internet or whatever. But then it's like there's the two different mechanisms. And that's where it really comes down to, is the proof of work and proof of stake. So a
yes,
proof of work is basically where they are doing, like, it's like where the mining comes from. And so it's very, very energy, like it's a very high energy consumption. And it's not just like running it's like one artist, he said that he found out in one transaction to mint his NFT cost as much as electricity as to fire, or to as much electricity to run his entire studio for 2 years. So we're
That's crazy.
talking about astronomical amounts of energy consumption that this technology can take up, which a lot of times we wouldn't think because we're like, how can it take up so much energy if it's something that's digital, right? But because it's like a proof of work is having to go and actually send out all of these transactions and to verify on the blockchain, which is basically a stacked permanent record, then it's like, oh, wow, that can add up really fast. Whereas the proof of stake mechanism, which is what the ghost market and Phantasma uses, is the where what the future. It's really the future because even Ethereum, which has
They're
been
change,
under this criticism, is now switching to the proof of stake, where
right?
it's basically like you get rewarded for staking that, and it's like kind of how you put money in a bank and you don't get to touch it and it gains interest because the banks get to use it however they want to use it, invest it in stuff as long as they have your money. They got your coins for you when you're ready to collect. So it's
Exactly.
more kind of along that principle. That'd be the easiest way to explain it, I think, in layman's terms, you know? So
Definitely.
I because it's an issue that people are pressing back on, like certain artists, they were like, I think the Gorillas, they were getting pushback where their fans were starting petitions saying
Right.
like, you know, don't do this, or I'm not going to support or be a fan anymore. And as an artist, obviously that's a real consideration that you're going to have. So I think that as that pressure continues to get applied, it's going to push the industry into that proof of stake mechanism and make that the new standard so that we can at least do this more sustainably because we have the technology.
Yeah, exactly. It should be. We as human beings overall have to move towards a mindset of doing things in a more sustainable way overall
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to how we do things. You know what I mean? But that's the talk for another day. You know? Just a
Yeah,
small
but
like
it
overall.
is it's a
People are
real concern though. It's a real
you know,
concern. So I know that, you know, there's people that are, and some of them I'm like, y'all just hating. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really care. Like you just hating. And then there are some that's like,
eating hamburgers because of
mhm.
cow parts messing up the ozone layer. Like where do we draw the line here? You know what I mean? What's
No,
the
I think you absolutely right, and I totally agree with you because it's like when it comes to environmental like climate change, it's like almost everything that we do is contributing into to some sort, and then
we're gonna
it's not like
never go nowhere, don't buy anything, don't go to the mall, don't shop, don't wear clothes, grow your
mhm,
own and just completely come off the grid and stuff like that. Otherwise, we're having an impact, So I think at least if what we know they're working on trying to fix this on the ETH blockchain vibe. I was working, I did my Genesis drop on Ghost Market because this was a concern for me. I was like, man, I like the environment. I like trees. I like air, I like breathing. I like oceans, all this stuff is
right,
important
right,
for human beings. People don't consider how it's like, oh, you just like that stuff. No, we need these things, you know what I
right.
mean? In order to sustain life. You feel me? So these things are really important. So that's even why I came to Ghost Market in the first place. And I love the whole, philosophy behind it. I love the people in the company. That's even how we connected. So big up again, Ghost Market, for giving us this blessed network that we were able to even connect with each other remotely. But my people were having so much trouble to actually be able to get through the process. It's already a difficult process on one of the major platforms, let
Hmm.
alone on a newer platform like Ghost Market. So, I think when it's easier to get the coin and then easier to be able to use that wallet and all of these different processes that you have to do, some people are just like they might already have a Coinbase or something like that, you know
Exactly.
but they
Yeah.
don't have any way to get the soul coin necessarily without it being, they have to be
Same.
like, they got to be really techie. They got to be really in tune with this whole space and be like crypto people. So it kind of isolates the newcomers, to where the newcomers are not going to necessarily be able to figure all of that out, So that's
Right.
why I kind of just tried another platform, just to see the results. And I am having a better time with my people who are new to the space, who I'm actually introducing. Saying, hey, these are NFTs. Do you have any crypto? do you have a digital wallet? You know what I mean? They're like, hey, I have a Coinbase. I'm like, okay, well, that's a start. You know what I mean? We can
Hmm.
check this out. You know what I mean? It's at least something they're somewhat comfortable with and familiar with. Because I gotta say, even some of the time getting some of these coins for me, as somebody who I've been tuning into this for some months now, you know, I've been doing my little small investments in a Bitcoin. You know, I've had a little bit of XRP for, you know, some months, just holding on to my XRP, you know. But
Hmm.
that I don't really know how to get to. I had to really do a lot of learning myself just to get through the process. So it's a lot of information to take in. It's a lot of information to communicate to our platforms. And that's why this week I am just focusing on regular ass merchandise. Like,
Hmm. Nah, and there's still that's always still gonna be a role. Like this is it's so new right now that one, it's getting democratized every day. So eventually on Ghost Market, you will be able to send fans there, and they'll be able to buy Soul Coin and KCal with their credit or debit card. You
I know
know.
I'm talking with them still, and they said that the updates were supposed to be coming sometime around the end of the month, hopefully. So I'm still tuned in with the Ghost Market family, trying to see, you
Hmm.
know, progress over there because I do like the whole philosophy, and I like that I went on there and they're always featuring people from Africa, and the whole thing just looks very diverse, and I just like the vibe. That just, you know, they had also I saw a couple different, you know, just people who looked interesting on there. People who I knew, I was like, yes.
Yeah, because they said that they actually did have a lot of artists from Africa, from Nigeria in particular. And I'm really excited to see how NFTs can revolutionize and bringing back wealth to those artists and stuff. So, like, that's why Hash Brown and I, we made an agreement where we will send the book to free for free to any African artist, you know, because $35, like for people that in the States and early adopters, like, okay, you know, but I was like out there the currency is different. It might be like more of a barrier. So we were like, we want to lift that barrier so that if they do choose that to leverage this technology, that they have the knowledge from us. So I have been sending it out to some artists. I found this one you might have seen in my story that did this incredible realistic drawing of DMX. And
Hmm.
like, I mean, that was just incredible. I was like, how does he only have like 800 followers? You know what I mean? Or 200 likes on this? Like one of the most incredible pieces that I've ever sent. So I was like, I'll send you my book for free. If you want a mint, I'll send you the cryptocurrency for free. You know, whatever you want to do, because you need to be making way more. You know what I'm saying? With that God given
But
talent.
that's what I love about this space, though. You know,
Mhm.
there's like yourself and people who are like, "What? We gotta spread this message. We gotta spread this knowledge. We gotta empower people. And if we can help them out, just give them a little bit of the tools to make it happen." You know.
Hey, and for the Jamaican artists too. So if you want the book, you hit me up. Somebody in the comment.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a friend of mine. Yes, she should get one because she's
Yeah,
been
hit me up.
about this too. I told her to tune into the live and maybe she will garner a little bit more information. She's a kind of a multifaceted artist who does poetry and some recordings and, you know, dance and different stuff. So, you know, there's a
What else
lot.
though? Maybe we can link up because I'm gonna be in Jamaica in a few months.
Okay.
So yeah, just like bringing that knowledge
It's
and
not all
democratizing it.
here. We got
Man,
all the
because like the other thing is that I be thinking about with technology, with AI, with the algorithms and all of this kind of automation is that the software computers are only good as the people that make them, you know? And it's like, so if people are racist, they can, whether intentionally or not, code
past.
those biases
Mm-hmm.
into the AI, and so that's why I'm like, we need to have as many, you know, of us like that diversity in these spaces, being early adopters, because that's going to actually craft the way this technology is developed and democratized. And
Definitely.
so that's why it's so important to me, because it's so like we're kind of building this new world, and we need to make sure that the people are that were left behind essentially in the last kind of major revolutions and stuff are going to be included
That's
this time
exactly
around.
what I was sending a comment to a friend of mine, also in Jamaica, and I was telling her we need to start educating people about this information because the reality is, you know, it's happened before. You know, it's happened to Jamaican artists. It's happened to Jamaica, Rastafari, black artists for years. You know what I mean? Other white people came, stole their works and put it out there and sold it. And those are the people who got the money while they were still left with nothing. You know what I mean? So with rock and roll, we see it all the time with they take pieces of the culture and they, you know, monetize it in their own way because they have the platform and they have the way to do it. So if we don't get in the space and monetize ourselves first, somebody else will come and do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they'll be capitalizing, you know, because the reality is the image of Bob Marley, that's like one of the most powerful images of a person that anybody's, you know, knows around the world. Like Bob Marley is known worldwide. You know what I'm saying? When people think of a character, you know, they often come up with some little Rasta looking something, or they have the show Rasta Mouse. You know what I mean? I don't know who Rasta Mouse, but I'm just saying, for example, you know, we have to make sure we are the ones in control of our own culture this time, because it's another opportunity. It's a digital revolution that's happening right now. So we don't want to get left in the past while other people make all of the money off of our own culture, you know?
And I feel like especially now, because another way that I think of NFTs, I think of it almost as buying a stock in an artist. Because of the fluctuation, it's not a fixed price. It's just that's the price according to the market right now. But you're an early adopter. Like I bought into Bitcoin when it was at like the $9,000 mark. So I've more than quadrupled, you know, 5 times my money just by holding on to it, because now it's going up. So it's like, oh, I invest in an NFT by Tuff Like Iron. And now that song, you know, I do Orange Peels. I buy the exclusive NFT for that for $100, and I don't sell that for 10 years. And by then you're like an international superstar. That means that I just made a great investment.
And the value of the artist is going up.
Yeah. So it's like, also that's the other thing.
You got to make sure you're investing in artists who are actually doing something besides just trying to like grab some money. You know what I mean? Because
yeah, so it's like a chance for you. You know, there's always the people that love to discover the new artists that be like, oh, I knew Kendrick Lamar before he was Kendrick. I told y'all he was gonna blow up. What? It's like those fans, it's their chance to shine. Yeah. Those fans that really have their ear to the street, that have that love for independent artists.
Tickets, the concert ticket NFT, so you could say, I was there, you know what I mean? I saw this person show when there was only 20 people there because nobody was coming, nobody was showing up. You know, y'all saw it on MTV or whatever, and then you thought it was cool. Like, I know what's up because see, look here, I got my concert ticket NFT to prove that I've been watching Tuff Like Iron since whenever, you know? I bought Kaila Love's first album NFT that she dropped in 2020, 21. So y'all late. You're late.
Yeah. And I feel like the real fans, people that are true lovers and consumers of music, they love that, because I have fans that will post like the picture of my physical CD and be like, I bought this back in 2017 and like, you know, and all this stuff. But now it's a chance for them to do that, one, digitally, and two, in a way that nobody can question. Like that's a knockoff or something like that. You know what I mean? No, it's like, it's on the blockchain, baby. Like, this is permanent record. This is the real deal.
Well, it's really exciting to me this whole time, and it's really just nice to see the whole community building around it. I hope we can just continue to I'm looking at, what does this comment say? Someone says, woman talent, they don't shine light. Well, sometimes, you know, they need more females, or, you know, but the woman,
especially in this space.
Yeah, gotta just step up and make it happen. Is anyone keeping us out of this space, Kaila?
No, I mean, that's why I be trying to bring as many as I can. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go. We can do this, you know? The knowledge is the power, is the wealth. And the other thing that's dope is where we are right now is like you already have like a pretty solid fan base and you're trying to educate and migrate them from kind of the streaming physical merchandise space now into the NFT space. And that's definitely one strategy, is one half of the strategy. And then the other half that I think that we as early adopters can really take advantage of right now is building within the crypto community that already exists. The people
Definitely.
that have their wallets, that are collectors, that are browsing these marketplaces. So that's the other half of the strategy that I mean, I don't have the code or anything, but I feel that that's like something that I'm interested in doing because it's like the community on the outside and now building within. And I think that building community wherever it is always the foundation of the building the fan base, building the support as an independent artist.
Definitely. So that's what I mean about the crypto community, the NFT community. People are very open. People are willing to share information with you, you know, for the most part. There's a lot of rooms in Clubhouse. I've been going on Clubhouse, going to the NFT tips room and a bunch of NFT related rooms. And it was so funny. The other day I was in one of the rooms and I saw this DJ in there that I knew from the Bronx. I was like, Scarrett boy from the Bronx.
That's cool.
And
He was getting his NFTs on?
he was like, yeah, man. You know what I mean? So it's good to see it is getting out there. You know, it's going to take time, but through, you know, people like yourself and, you know, myself just trying to share information, just trying to spread the knowledge, spread the love, you know, we'll get there, you know, and the bigger, you know, big international mainstream artists are doing it as well. So hopefully, you know, maybe within another year or two, this will really catch on in a more mainstream way that everybody will know what we're talking about. And they won't say, what the F is an NFT? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think in about a year that people will have probably that baseline of knowledge, especially as more major artists are the ones bring the light to it, and I guess maybe legitimizing it in certain people's minds. But I think it's really like the next decade because I think that NFTs are going to, and blockchain technology in general. I mean, we've seen how Bitcoin has been around for some time now, but now we're really seeing that Apple Pay like is integrating it, that there's Bitcoin ATMs, that you can buy a Tesla, that other major companies and corporations are now looking at as a valid form of currency that you can purchase things with. And
Yeah.
so that's basically taken a decade for us to even come there. So I think that in the next decade, we will see how NFTs will essentially be part of everything. Like, will there be notaries anymore? Maybe it will just be NFT services. Like it can replace a lot of things that are, you know, when it comes to trying to have the certificate of authenticity for signed thing, you know, I feel like NFTs are going to just replace all of that.
Definitely. I was just talking to some friends who make some jewelry about, I don't know if they got tuned into this live, but I sent it to them. Everybody who's been asking me NFT questions, I just like, look, watch this live.
Nice. Yeah.
So they sell jewelry, and I was saying it could be used as a way to offer the customer a certificate of authenticity to say, you know, this is the real product, authentically gold. You know, their product is like usually, I think it's, I don't know if it's 14 or 24 karat, but whatever kind of gold they're using. So could, you know, give people an NFT to prove that it is authentic, that it's original, because they do have also some people who make a kind of a bootleg version of their product who I've seen at festivals and stuff, and I was like, hey, that looks kind of similar, but it wasn't.
But it's not.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And I think that that's the other thing that is really the legal issues, because, you know, anytime technology is developing, especially in the music industry, the law is always trying to catch up with it. And in this case, it's like the copyright issues, the split issues, and the infringement issues, because there are already people that are uploading other artists' work that they don't have the rights to, that are putting it on the marketplace. And so now, how do these marketplaces develop, like, that you're the right artist and stuff? So that's going to be the other
like
thing.
when you go on YouTube, when you upload your video on YouTube, it traces the copyright and says you're uploading copywritten content.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if you're the artist and it's your copywritten content, when you upload it to your own thing, they'll be like, it's a copyright claim on this you know. So I guess that's definitely an issue, especially with you can just take anybody's song and just upload it to anywhere and sell it. I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah, so that's like one thing that is kind of concerning where it's like because like the whole reason why Spotify evolved is because people were on BearShare and LimeWire and they were getting the songs and then uploading it to these peer-to-peer services and then they
Killed.
were not the artists they didn't one did not get data to even track their streams, know who their fans were, what they were doing, and they were not getting the royalties from that. So, Spotify did solve a problem. It posed a new problem that now
Right.
NFTs are, and of course, any technology, especially in its early time that is being introduced, is going to have some flaws. So it's just things to keep be mindful about as artists and making sure that we're continuing to do our part with copywriting our music, registering with a PRO, and all of the things that, we need to do that even if an artist is not in the NFT space or not, is maybe not necessarily doing. So that's still very foundational and it's going to be just as important, even if you are doing something in the NFT space.
Yeah. I mean, all of that stuff that you're mentioning is super important, and it's all about admin, and that's very anybody, including myself, and I have a lot of things that I want to get into a better order and a better position. So that's why I was also interested in learning from you about this sync licensing thing. And I know you had been mentioning a couple stuff that you could do as an artist that you have to do if you even want to have your music considered for these kind of opportunities. So I was hoping you could just share with us a little bit more about what we got to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different places to get your music like licensed, right? One is you can submit it to these music libraries, something like taxi.com. And so basically when you submit to a music library, you have to do all of that legwork up front. You have to prove that you own the copyrights. You have to show your splits. You have to have your lyric sheet, know your BPM, have all your descriptive words, be able to talk about, every instrument that's in the track, all of these things, because the reason why music supervisors will look at the music libraries is because they want to license fast and they want to license music that they know is cleared. That's like their biggest thing. Like, let's say they find the perfect song for the commercial that they're trying to find the right music for. If that song has a sample or something that they legally cannot, they don't even want to hear that song because they're going to probably be mad like, this is the perfect song that I want to use and I can't even use it legally. So that's the biggest thing, is like basically having all of those descriptors of your music, having everything registered properly, having all of the splits amongst all the parties in paper ready to go.
Okay, so crucial. I have a question though. When you say the shit, when you say what was my question now? I just had it.
Music libraries, music supervisors.
It was about the samples. It was about the samples. When you say it can't have any samples, do you mean like vocal samples, any kind of instrument samples?
It's like
Where's the line of that?
you can go on something in like your garage band or something like that and get like the 4-bar loop samples or splice. But usually when you're going to something like that, there are stipulations that you're able to use those like without giving royalties. Like you buy a pack and then it gives you that legal clearance. But it would be something like a sample from, I don't know, Nina Simone or like a major artist or something like that. And it can be,
Clear
it could
that
be
up.
vocals. It could be, like the thing is, if somebody goes,
Thing from some famous song, like some instrument line that you sampled this thing and you're trying to use it back in your own project, that wouldn't be okay. But if you had purchased like a sample pack that is in Logic that you're using, for example, well, in the studio, you've purchased it, that those license agreements, I guess, with those programs allow you to then use those sounds to, use them as your own composition, correct?
right. So it's like, yeah, because it's all about the copyright. Like a lot of times, if you're getting something from a splice or whatnot, it's not going to be a copyright infringement because you're paying for that service for this particular purpose. But if you are taking something from, an artist, and the other thing around sampling is like if there is, let's say, an infringement and then two parties go to court and let's say they only sampled the bass, but everybody loves that song for the bass line. the bass line is what made the song, then that's
Yeah.
going to be a greater infringement versus if it's something that, it's like one of those things where it's kind of subjective, where it's like what part is the most important. Like, Lizzo, where she has her song, like, I'm 100% that bitch. Like when she took the DNA test line, right? People know that song Truth Hurts for that line. And she actually got sued because people said that they were in the writing session and that a writer, somebody else came up with that line. And now they're like, that's the most important line of the song that's constantly getting referenced. Or if it is getting sync placements, that's the line a lot of times that they're syncing. And so it's a greater infringement than if it was any other line of the song, because that's the part we value the most.
Well, that is a little bit arbitrary. Like, how are you supposed to know when you're making a song what part of the song people would value the most? You know, you can't know that until afterwards. Like, there's no way.
Exactly. And that's why it kind of gets tricky. But then at the same time, it's like, that's why splits, it seems that it would be very straightforward. But let's say you're in a writing session, Lizzo writes the whole song, the other person only writes that one bar. Do they get 50%? Do they get 20? You know what I'm saying? It's that's why a lot of times.
How do they work that out? Like, what does that person who wrote one line of the song get? Because if you did, well, that's why you have to do your splits from beforehand, right? So nobody can complain.
That's why these publishing companies that will do like writing camps and whatnot, they basically will be like anybody who is in this session, like they take a head count, they write down everybody, the attendance, and everybody gets an equal split. So that's a common way, because it does get really tricky and arbitrary, like you said, with, okay, who made what contribution? Whereas like if I write 85% of the song, should I get 85% of the splits? So that's when it like samples.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, but it has to be at the same time. It has to be something that all parties agree on.
Right. And then in that situation, you're saying somebody came in and just said, Tuff, say lightning ball. And now I say lightning ball in my song. And people really like this part that says lightning ball. And so then now they're more important in the song and they should get more money than, give them 5%.
Exactly.
So that's why we got to have our all written out. Take your 5% and smile.
It happens all the time. So like that's always a really interesting thing where you see like the different copyright infringements. But that's why at the end of the day, music supervisors, they want to license quickly. They want stuff that they can clear very easily. And that's just one aspect of it, is that the samples, a lot of times it can just be that extra legal barrier. Even if you clear the sample, if it's like a big sample, they still might feel like
they
too big of a risk.
Yeah.
I just go for an artist that's easy. They wrote it, they produced it, no problem. One moment. I'm sorry, I think I have someone at my door. One moment.
No problem. I'll talk to the people. What's up, DSV hippie, my bro?
Okay, sorry about that, my grandma's. But yeah, no, like that's an excellent point.
Anansa is my sister, and she's an artist as well over in England. So yes, I guess she can't answer me, but she could text. I wonder if she is tuned in the NFT space at all, and what's going on in England. What is she seeing in the reggae scene over in England? Is anybody dropping any NFTs? Are they talking about this technology? What's good? And DJ Lalabella, I believe you're out of Ethiopia, don't it? Bless up to all the queens in the music. Bless up all women, all mamas, all aunties.
Aww.
In the music.
That's
awesome. Yes, Unity 2030, Goddard, blessed love to you. And yeah, we can keep talking. Solely up yourself. That guy, somebody in here, I do some kind of foolishness, then for just take away yourself. If you don't like what we're saying, you can just hit the X. See the X there? Let me show you it there. See the X there? If you don't like to talk, you just hit the X and take away yourself. No problems. We won't feel bad. We won't cry. So yeah, pick up Rena Rose. I think she was asking when I'm coming to Cali again. will be, yes. Oh, that's so funny. Yo, we are in sync. I was just scrolling through comments. I think I saw her earlier saying, when I'm coming to Cali. Here she says, when are you coming to Cali? So
Yeah, when are you?
I'm coming to Cali soon. I'm looking to do hopefully some pop-ups and some little shows depending on the opening of certain stuff and,
Right.
due to COVID and things being a little bit up in the air, some smaller events. So I am looking to be in LA and the Bay Area, probably
Hey.
sometime in June. So what you saying? We could link up, do
Yeah,
some
we should link up. I be in both I'm from the Bay, so I primarily stay in the Bay, but my boyfriend he lives in LA. He's up here right now with me, but yes, essentially I'll go back and forth, you know. So we will find a place, you know.
awesome, awesome. Because I'm looking to kind of try to bridge all of these different kinds of things that I have to offer. Right? We have the digital assets. So now me and you, we could even do something at a pop up where we do a little workshop where we talk to people about it or talk to artists or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Because that can be informative and helpful to the people as well. Because we got to get our education on with everybody. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
do some performance and have the merchandise and probably have a couple artists featured as well, so that's my general, vision. But we'll keep in touch and I'll let you know the dates and the progress with that so far. But yeah,
Most
anything else you
definitely.
want to tell us about this sync licensing? I'm all ears. I'm like ready.
Then yes, so sync licensing is like a great opportunity, and I think my next step, because what I did was getting into, I got my sync licensing, opportunity through my distributor, United Masters. Like there is the music libraries that I talked about. I've been in music libraries before, but I never successfully got a placement through them. I got some interest, but the deal never went through. I know that there's still some value in them. But that's like really if you're producing a huge catalog and all you're ever doing is sync licensing, right? But if you're an artist and you're creating more music for yourself, because there's like two ways to go about it. Is one, you're creating music specifically for a brand or a movie that you want to get licensed, and that's the purpose of that song that you already have in mind. And then you're an artist, you're writing about your everyday experiences, making the music that you want to write, and now you're trying to find a sync home for it. You're trying to
Right.
find that right brand or that TV show that it's going to really enhance.
And
So
let me ask you, which path did you take with it?
man, it was a little bit of both because I had my music and my friend, he reached out. He said, I think these tracks, I had two tracks, Quite Like Me and Give Me Everything. And he said, I think these could be really good in the game. They're like high energy. They got kind of that empowering spirit that you would want in a sports track, like for a basketball game or ESPN, a sports broadcasting network, right? But I didn't have the rights to the beat. I didn't have the producer's agreement, so they didn't have the own everything that I needed to. So I went and I wrote that song Halftime, keeping that in mind, like, okay, I need something that's high energy, that's kind of bossy, that's gonna be, empowering, sporty, anthem like. And I wrote that like I'm gonna write this for the game. But at the same time, I want to incorporate myself as an artist and not do something corny like, oh, I'm about to do a layup or I'm hitting a three-pointer or just something that's like super literal, you know what I mean? Because I learned later, that's also sync licensing. They don't want something that is too literal on the scene because it could get corny. It's
Right.
something almost like metaphorical that has wider application,
Mhm.
but you can interpret it. Like I feel like if you're an athlete or entrepreneur or a business person, you can relate to halftime because of the overall theme, you
Right.
know? So focusing on the vibe and the theme is a big part.
I have a song that I think might be good for something like this. So when
Yeah.
I'm done, I'm gonna send it to you and you check it out. I did all the writing myself. Um, all right. My two brethren did help me a little bit. We were in this,
Okay.
how it is when you're in the
Yeah.
studio. One of
Yeah.
my brethren is a producer, and the other one is our friend who we're always together since I was in Jamaica. When I was a teenager hanging out in Jamaica in the studio, the three of us were always hanging out together. So now it's great. I've become an artist, and they're in the Oakland area, so we're
Oh,
all in the same area. At least I'm there sometimes. I'm not always there, but we get to collaborate and do some stuff. So we did an album called Elemental, so everyone can check that out too. But I have a song called Champion Status that I feel like that's
nice.
what I was thinking about, something
It
like that.
sounds like it.
Um, I don't know what to do with the song besides just release it, but you know what I mean? It's definitely that kind of a vibe. So when we're finished, I'm gonna send it to you and you check it out and you see, tell me what you think, if you think it could be something possible for some sort of an opportunity like this.
Most definitely, because I think that we would need more of that type of music in the game. Because there is like, it's mostly hip hop. There has been some kind of almost like alternative rock, like very few, like one or two tracks, you know what I'm saying? But it does show there's space for diversity there. It's more of still, again, about the vibe and less about the genre.
Right.
So if you feel like, I would love to hear the song and pass it along and see if, you might want to distribute it through United Masters and, help you through the pitching phase.
Well, we'll talk more about it for sure. I think
Yes.
for
But
your,
I know we are approaching up on the hour and stuff like that.
I know
Um,
you might get kicked
that went
off.
by fast.
Well, we have so many stuff to talk about. It's very intricate, all of these stuff. We could really like talk about any one little piece of it for like hours and hours.
For real, for real. But hopefully we gave a good overview to, the fan bases that we had here together. It's been pretty consistent of like at least 20 people in the room. So
Yes,
much love to everybody that joined. It's really great to see the support, your people coming through, my people coming through. So hopefully, we get some like cross follows and we'll do some more collaborative work in the future because I'm definitely wanting to hear the champion
I have
track.
a song with you. Are you ready?
Yes.
On a track. All right. I'll talk to
Yes.
you too. Hi, Skunk House. That's Skunk House Records. Yes, Skunk House, we're here talking about NFTs for music and sync licensing and just new kind of opportunities for what to do with the great music that we have and that many artists have to offer. So it's been very informative. Thank you so much. Big up yourself for amassing all of this knowledge and being so articulate with it and able to share it with me and with everyone watching and with the whole world. Thank you so much for your time and your
Oh,
energy.
much love, Tuff. Thank you.
We definitely appreciate love you because that's what we say. We say appreciate love because we don't hate you, so we say appreciate love you. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
that's beautiful.
And I hope that we're going to link up very soon in person. And if not, I want to get on the track. I want to get some songs licensed. We're going to make teas. We doing it all.
That sounds awesome. But yeah, like Skunk House said, we'll have to do it again.
We will. Maybe
Much love.
maybe we can help more people get this information and learn about what we're doing and what they could do and just the whole space and the whole community. It's great vibes. This has been so. Can I just tell everybody that I've literally never spoken to this woman before, and she's so friendly and so intelligent and so easy to talk to. This was like a piece of cake.
Oh, likewise. I'm really glad we got to connect and, I'm looking forward to just hearing more music. I love what you're doing. I mean, you got a great presence on Spotify, great fan base. I love to see it, super inspired by it. So I'm really glad that, we stuck with it. We committed to the day. We did what we needed to do. And that's just the foundation for more to come. So stay
Definitely.
tuned, y'all.
Right? We'll be doing it again soon. All right, cool. And stay tuned
Much,
for more collaborations between us as well.
absolutely.
Right? And people can definitely link us. If you got more questions, hit us up. We're talking about this, we're building this community, so definitely get in tune with us and let's have the conversation. Let's see when we got to do another one of these so we can get more insights. So
Absolutely.
have a great day, Mama.
Thank you. You as well. Bye,
All right,
everyone. Thanks again.
family, Irene. So we talk soon. All right, that was Kaila Love. Wasn't she so like great, giving us all these great tips for our artist life. Big up to all my music people tuned in and just everybody who's tuning into the whole NFT movement right about now. Yeah, family, it's been a joy. It's been an honor. Big ups to everyone who tuned in. DSV Hippie, done Noah, Skunk House, done Noah Lodge every time. Rally Up Music, Orange Peel NFT on the way. Yeah, big ups to the whole family.